Chapter 11 Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. Al-Hafid was a wealthy man who owned a large farm in south-central India. He lived a very satisfied life until an ancient Buddhist priest told him of the existence of diamonds, the world's most valuable mineral. Now he became so obsessed with the idea of becoming incredibly wealthy by finding these precious gemstones that, believe it or not, he sold his farm and travelled all around the world in search of them until he had spent all of his money. Finally, he drowned himself, completely penniless, without any money, any property. Meanwhile, back at Al-Hafid's property, the new owner took his camel to a garden brook to give it a drink of water. When the camel was drinking from the brook, he noticed a brightly coloured rock glittering in that water. He took it home with him and simply placed it on his fireplace mantel. A few days later, the same Buddhist priest returns to the property, and seeing the colourful rock on the mantel, he recognized it as a large diamond in the rough. So was discovered the diamond mine of Golconda, one of the most magnificent diamond mines in the history of mankind. Golconda diamonds are well known today as the highest quality gemstones in the world. Many of the world's most famous diamonds, including the Hope Diamond, are believed to be from the Golconda mine. Now, I'm not here to talk to you about Golconda mine or diamonds. You can Google them out. I'm here to tell you what I learned from this story, because the lesson is incredibly simple. You don't need to look elsewhere for opportunity, achievement, or fortune. All of the opportunities you could possibly want can be found where you are right now, in your present community, in your present job, in your present family, and other circumstances. In this 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna shows his Vishwarup and strongly nurtures in us that we need to look inside ourselves and around us to find divinity, which can take care of us in totality. For best results, we need to dig in our own backyard to find opportunities where we are right now, in our present circumstances. You may have heard that expression, the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. We all dream of finding our success or fortune somewhere else, in a different set of circumstances, in a different city, with a different job, or a change in our marital status. When you finally get to the other side of the fence, you inevitably discover that the grass wasn't so green there after all. On the other hand, the opportunities we seek are probably closer than we think. There is a strong but a very powerful relationship between problems and opportunities. Problems usually contain within them the seeds of opportunity. The reason that most people never see them is because no one has ever taught them how to look for them. You see, when they are pulled from the ground, diamonds don't look that brilliant. Multifaceted gems that we know and love, they come disguised as rough, colorful rocks. It takes a trained eye to recognize them. In the same way, opportunities come disguised in work clothes as problems or challenges to be overcome. The average person sees only the problems and quickly gives up. But a small handful of entrepreneurial people push on through the challenges to identify and capitalize upon the opportunities they contain. The wealthy farmer is like most people today, who either see innumerable problems or stay where they are right now, in quiet desperation, or run off trying to find new opportunities without any idea what they're looking for. Rushing in blindly, my friends, is rarely productive. Now, Arjuna was exactly in a similar state as the farmer. Unlike the farmer, who ideally should have understood about diamonds and spoken about it to someone before going in search of it everywhere, Arjuna clearly expressed his desire, anguish, and mental state to his friend just before the Mahabharata war, and standing in front of him was the divine God himself to guide him and explain to him the truth of life. Being convinced that Krishna is not just his friend with whom he has been chatting and expressing his anxiety, but is God himself, Arjuna very gently requests Krishna to show his real self to him. Arjuna requests Krishna with complete surrender and humility. Now, can you just visualize? The mighty archer Arjuna, who stayed before the Mahabharata war, was one of pride in his abilities, suddenly turning to extreme delusion and anxiety at the start of the Bhagavad Gita, now stands before Krishna with folded hands in complete humility and is politely requesting him to show him his true self, only if Krishna thinks he is worthy of being shown his divine form. Being pleased with Arjuna's sincerity, Krishna gives him divine eyes to be able to see his actual form. With normal eyes, it is not possible to see that divine form of God. Chapter 10 was about the concept of multiplicity, and this chapter is about oneness. We as human beings must be able to coexist with oneness with our own self in this world full of differentiation and multiplicity. This chapter is about divine vision and a higher principle of understanding the reality. Reality has multiple perspectives and varies from oneness to multiplicity. People must be able to live in this world of differentiation in oneness. Now, to be able to understand what I'm trying to say, we must be able to move above the sense organs. If all our sense organs are functioning, oneness cannot be experienced. Just as we cannot use our ears to see, nor can we smell through our eyes, in the same way, we have to be able to experience the divine form of God by switching off all our sense organs and get divine eyes the way Arjuna got. Universal oneness is not an object of perception. My friends, it's a matter of deep realization. So this divine vision that Arjuna was bestowed with is only due to the grace of God. The other person who was bestowed with this divine vision was Sanjaya, who narrates this to Dhritarashtra. This divine vision helps Arjuna and Sanjaya share their experience. This chapter becomes so dramatic and makes one feel the need to experience it and not just read or understand or narrate it by someone. When we wear 3D glasses to watch a movie, the experience is completely different from watching the same movie without the 3D effect. Similar is the effect when Arjuna experienced it and explained it for all of us to visualize. Extraordinary experiences in life are beyond expression in words. When Sushmita Sen won the Miss Universe title, she had no words to express her joy and surprise. All she could do was cry in joy and express herself through her eyes and facial expression. Destruction, my friends, is an important aspect of reality. Only when destruction happens can construction begin and old order can be replaced by new. Reality is the coexistence of good and evil. The spirit of this chapter is in understanding reality. Analytical thinking and critical thinking are so necessary skills in people to exist in this competitive corporate world. But analytical skills is not absolute. One must be able to see reality too where there is duality. Ancient Indian wisdom had such a lovely balanced approach towards analytical thinking and realistic understanding of life and the world. For example, many people had made grand plans to travel destinations and weddings in 2020, but from mid-March 2020, reality completely changed for every single person on this planet and all plans had to be forgotten. Spirituality helped people to understand that reality is very different from what one desires, because reality only God alone knows. We all are only actors in the play directed by God. The earlier we accept this, we will have a more balanced approach to life and experience inner peace. Thank you so much for listening to us. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and also share the same with anyone you feel like.